Key prohibitions. Riba. Key prohibitions. Interest or usury. Riba means an increment or increase in Arabic. Riba can be in different forms, and all forms are prohibited. It is the fundamental prohibition in Sharia-compliant trade and finance. There are many verses in the Noble Quran that convey the prohibition of riba, in particular Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 278 to 279. Types of riba. Riba in loans. An increase for the repayment, deferment, or postponement in a contract of loan, the same as conventional interest on lending. For example, this riba applies when someone with an outstanding loan is required to pay a sum larger than the original principal in order to settle the loan. Riba in sales arises from the trading of specific goods that are considered the same as money. For example, gold and silver, or fruits like barley, wheat, dates, salt, and even rice must be traded at the same weight. Why is riba prohibited? Divine revelations. Riba is prohibited in Noble Quran and Sunnah, secondary source of Islamic law, and is a commandment from Allah. Economic injustice. A riba-based economy increases inequality between the wealthy capital owners and the poor. Misallocation of capital. Capital is often provided to borrowers who can pay back the loan instead of productive investment. Passive, less risk. Riba-based investments encourage passive investment rather than contributing to productive and meaningful advancements of the real economy. Implication on Sharia-compliant equities. Investing in Sharia-compliant equities allows for investors to share the profits and losses based on their company investments, whilst contributing to a productive and real economy. This fulfills the key principles of Islamic trade. Did you know? Allah and His Messenger declared war on all those who partake in riba. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 278. Key prohibitions. Gharar. Gharar can be defined as unnecessary risk, deception, or ambiguity in transactions. Although gharar should be avoided, scholars are of the opinion that the mere presence of gharar does not automatically invalidate a trade. Types of gharar. Gharar yasir. Where the gharar is small, the trade or transaction is acceptable, as this is inherent in all business transactions and is not prohibited. Gharar fahish. Where the gharar is excessive, the trade or contract will be invalid. Gharar mutawassit. Where the gharar is moderate, there are differences in opinion about their acceptability. Why is gharar prohibited? Gharar may result in injustice and exploitation among contracting parties. This may lead to conflict, which in turn leads to harm. Gharar is prohibited to avoid the various forms of fraud, injustice, dispute, unfairness. Implication on Sharia-compliant equities. Gharar can be identified where excessive levels of speculation are involved in the purchase and sale of equities. Did you know? Allah mentions, "Eat not your property among yourself unjustly by falsehood and deception, except it be a trade amongst you by mutual consent." Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 188, and Surah An-Nisa, verse 29. Key prohibitions. Maisir. Key prohibitions. Gambling or speculation. Maisir or qimar refers to gambling or high levels of speculation. Maisir, from a financial instrument viewpoint, would be one where the outcome is dependent on chance alone. Gambling transactions are considered zero-sum games in Islam. This means that one party must lose for the other to win. Sharia-compliant transactions are meant to be mutually beneficial and equitable. Why is Maisir prohibited? Maisir refers to the easy acquisition of wealth by chance, whether it deprives another's right or not. Maisir also refers to games of chance in which one gains at the cost of others. Examples include casinos, lotteries, raffle tickets, and sport betting. It is an equitable transaction whose outcome is entirely dependent on chance. The gain of one party implies the loss of the other, which may lead to dispute or conflict, which leads to harm. The practice often leads to disputes and quarrels among the gamblers and their families, causing a negative impact on the social fabric of society. The harms of gambling are greater than its benefit, also corrupting morals and increasing greed. Implication on Sharia-compliant equities. Investing in the gambling and gaming sector is categorized as Sharia non-compliant, as it is impermissible to support prohibited activities in Islam. Gambling may also extend into excessively speculative trading in equities, which is also prohibited in Islam. Did you know? The Prophet said, "Whoever says to his companion, 'Come, let us play a game of haphazard,' should give alms,